made him overseer of his house and all that he had put under his authority. And see, when people see God's favor on our lives, and they see it in the right light, it'll be attractive to others. Favor is the key to promotion. Everybody that desires to serve God has to live in such a way that we enjoy the favor of God and man.
You know what I'd like to know is how that character was developed in Joseph. Because they didn't have the Old Testament to read and go by.
I think God put it there.
God developed the
He chose
character.
him.
We touched on that at the beginning of this study. Well, we'll go back over that. But this favor, when we enjoy the favor of God and man, that'll then cause others to entrust us with more responsibility and with greater things. Luke 2:52 says, "And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature, and in favor with God and men." Acts 7:9-10, "And the patriarchs, becoming envious, sold Joseph into Egypt. But God was with him, and delivered him out of all his troubles, and gave him favor and wisdom in the presence of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he made him governor over Egypt and all his houses." Daniel 1:9 says, "Now God had brought Daniel into the favor and goodwill of the chief of the eunuchs." Now how do we obtain favor to man? How do we obtain favor with man?
Who cares?
The first thing is we have to avoid compromise. No, because God tells us we should be in favor with God and man. But don't lose favor with God, and this goes with what you said, don't lose favor with God at the cost of gaining favor with man. Stay faithful to God. He'll touch the hearts of man to receive you. Do not be bought by man and thereby compromise the favor of God. Well, how many TV evangelists break that rule?
A lot.
Do not be influenced by deals with strings attached. These will one day come back to bite you in the butt. It says here to control you, but I like bite you in the butt better.
That string is in the shape of a serpent.
Genesis 39:5 says, "So it was from the time that he had made him overseer of his house and all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was on all that he had in the house and in the field." And you see, this is where we discover that God's blessing will overflow and touch the world around us. Just like the ark, not Noah's ark, but the Ark of the Covenant, which represented God's presence that was left in Obed-Edom's house, brought blessing to his home. So the presence of God in us should bring blessing to those around us. So let that soak in. When you stay in God's favor and God blesses you, that brings blessings to those around you too. So when I get blessed, each of you may get blessed, or most likely will. You may not know it, you may not realize it, you may not appreciate it, but you do. Now in Genesis 39:6 it says, talking about Joseph again, "Thus he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate." Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. Now see, certain references in the Bible and in probably even in Josephus' book of history I have back there, describes Joseph as beautiful Not handsome, but beautiful. In fact, Potiphar's wife would invite women to dinner just to show off Joseph's beauty. She even went as far as to declare him to be an angel. I hate it when they do that to me. Today's world places a premium look on good looks and on sensuality. You don't believe me? Watch television. How many ugly women, how many ugly men do you ever see in those TV ads?
Not too many.
You don't.
You don't.
They're all gorgeous. Don't look at me. I'm too pretty to be looked at.
Or I'm too handsome to be looked at.
But because of that premium, there's a lot of hurt and a lot of emotional wounds that we inflict on the not so good looking.
Mm-hmm.
They are made to feel
Inferior.
And then, yeah,
inferior, undesirable, inadequate.
most of the models are, they have a figure, they require you to have this and this and that.
And one of the biggest
Yeah, some
offenders,
scooters.
one of the biggest offenders, one of the biggest groups that is guilty of this are the churches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Pastors and preachers and evangelists with perfect hair.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single one out of line.
I went, and this is a story I haven't
Went
even
to
told
Boston.
Cindy because I just remembered it. I went to one of those camp meetings, evangelistic meetings. Wasn't a tent revival.